4 minutes. Then we will start. You can see the numbers is going slowly up. We are progressing. We still have 3 minutes, and then we'll start. Please use the Q&A for only questions and use the chat for chatting. If you want to greet us or greet others or want anything, do it in the chat. And QA, use it for asking questions. So it becomes easier for us to know where are your questions. Okay, I think it's time to start. Good evening, everyone. We are really delighted, pleased to have you with us today. This is the first session of many sessions coming part of our investing in our community, which we aim to provide lectures to and sessions in so many areas. Leadership, as you can see today, technical, artificial intelligence, health, and safety, and many other topics. Yeah, I think you saw the program when we announced it on the social media. We also have a platform we'll release hopefully in few days. You can access it through learn.edu.ac.ie, where you will find all the details, you'll find the recording, and also you'll be able to get a certificate when you complete certain requirements. We'll talk about it. Few housekeeping, virtual housekeeping. First thing, I'll do introduction, quick introduction. Then Professor Ghassan will do his presentation. We'll have some time for Q&A at the end. For Q&A, you can ask questions through the Q&A if you are on Zoom. If you are on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, all those different platforms, you can use the chat or comments section to ask your questions, and we will see it. We will try to answer it as much as we can. If we cannot do it during the live session, we will do that after the live session. At the end, we have short survey to get your feedback on our workshops that will help us to improve the next workshops in different aspects. So we're running these workshops, as you noticed, every Thursday from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. We selected this time. We think it fits very well with in the middle of everything, the morning for North America and mid of day or after in the evening for Europe, night for us. So we can maybe get a wider audience to benefit from these workshops. All these sessions are recorded and can be accessed later. So for today's session, it's really my great pleasure to introduce the first speaker, and we are delighted and pleased that our first speaker is our Chancellor, Professor Ghassan Awad. He is well-known figures in academia and leadership. So before joining Abu Dhabi University, Professor Awad served as the president of the Applied Science University in Bahrain. He spent 8 years there, made huge achievements in many areas, and the most important thing is leading the team that he was doing. His academic journey is marked by significant achievements, beginning with his Master in Construction, then his PhD in Integrated Planning Systems and Construction in 1991. Professor Awad career includes a transformative tenure at University of Salford, where he progressed from a research fellow to Pro-Vice Chancellor for Research and Innovation and Dean of College of Science and Technology. His remarkable contribution there included supervising 24 PhD students, examining 52, I'm sure the number has gone up by now, authoring 3 research books, publishing around 100 papers in top-rated journals, and delivered so many keynotes speaks. At least in the year we spent together, I have seen him giving really amazing, inspiring keynote that helped leadership to develop and move forward. So being almost in every country in this world, presenting and inspiring people with his leadership. His global leadership extends to serve as the president of the University of Wollongong in Dubai and the vice president for academic affairs at Gulf University for Science and Technology in Kuwait, a leader in professional organization as well. He holds the role including president and vice president of Chartered Institute of Building. In recognition for his contribution to technology, although he's come from constructions, but he did the integrated systems in PhD and made lots of innovative solution and transformative ways of bringing technology in life and research in industry. So he been awarded honorary doctorate of technology from Loughborough University in 2016. He is a member of the Advanced HE Leadership and Management Strategic the advisory group and fellow of both Advanced HE and Chartered Institute of Building. So it's really my honor and pleasure to introduce Professor Ghassan to give the first workshops on the arts and science in leadership. I have gone through this presentation, attended one of it. It is really inspiring, and I'm sure you will benefit from this one. Professor Ghassan, the floor is yours. I will share screen when you are ready.
Thank you, Dr. Hamad, for the nice introduction. I didn't recognize myself at some stage, but thank you. It's a pleasure to be working with you as well as Vice Chancellor. You're an amazing, inspirational figure, and many thanks as well to Khulud, who's with us. We came to the university to be on the safe side, so there's only in this building now the three of us, me, Dr. Hamad, and Ms. Khulud. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, colleagues, friends. I'm sure I have plenty of people in the audience I know, and I'm delighted that we have so far 268, and the number is increasing by the second attending this lecture. But I don't see the presentation, Dr. Hamad.
Yeah, I'll add it.
Okay, so I would be fantastic. I'll be talking about the art and science of leadership, and absolutely delighted and fortunate to be a Chancellor of Abu Dhabi University. It's a fantastic university, full of innovative people, fantastic students and alumni, and really hardworking, loyal colleagues, and fantastic partners as well who are working with us in the university. It's led by visionary chairman, Dr. Ali Al-Dahiri, and fantastic board. And so I'm just really fortunate to be in this environment, working in the UAE, in the land of peace and coexistence and tolerance and innovation. This is very, very important to be working in a nation where we breathe innovation every day of the year, in fact. So I'm very fortunate to a large extent, and I'm fortunate to have so many friends on LinkedIn and other places who are attending this lecture. I hope you will enjoy it. It's on the art and science of leadership. So I'll be covering, I'll provide some context first, then I'll talk about leadership styles and theories, the differentiation between leadership and management, and how to become a leader. I was looking at my career performance and see the sense of satisfaction I got during my academic career, and you can see the two significant moments in my academic life are when I get my PhD, which I had the highest sense of achievement, and when I became professor in 1999 at Salford University, in fact, and when I got my PhD from Loughborough University. So it showed that those moments you will never forget, June 91, February 1999. The rest are really important to become head of school or dean or pro-vice chancellor or president of a university. They are all nice moments, but for me, the best sense of achievement ever I've received during my academic life was in 1991 and 1999. Next one, please. This slide is about the university. It's not about showing off that we have been on the road for 20 years, but for a young university, which has been established 20 years ago by His Excellency Dr. Ali Al-Dahiri, you can see where we are. And you can see the design of this slide, which has 20 boxes based on the recommendation from the chairman, in fact. And I work with my colleagues in marketing, in particular, Ms. Noor Al-Masri. And we produce these slides. The first one document all the university achievement on just one slide. It covers The accreditation we have achieved from WASC in the United States, the CAA in the UAE, EQUIS and AACSB accreditation for our business school, ABIT and RIBA accreditation for our engineering and APHEA for in health sciences. We have branches, so we have 3 branches in Abu Dhabi, in Al Ain and Dubai. In terms of uniqueness, we are very proud of the accreditation of our business college by AACSB and EQUIS, which is double accreditation. Only 1% of business colleges across the globe have achieved the double accreditation. And you can see the colors, 20 in yellow, Abu, in orange, and then Dhabi in dark blue, and university in green to reflect 20 Abu Dhabi University, because we have been for 20 years on the. Of course, we are highly ranked in the Times Higher and the QS. We are in the top 1% in the world in the Times Higher Education ranking, World University ranking, and 2% in the QS. We are number 58 in the Young University ranking, and so many rankings, 301 to 400 in the Impact Times Higher Education Impact ranking. We have 5 stars from the QS. Our subjects are as well very important for us under rankings. So you can see that the business and managed economics subject in the university is ranked 101 to 125 in the world, which is fantastic according to the Times Higher Education. And according to the QS, we are 251 to 300 for business and management. And our QS ranking is in the global ranking is also high as well. Next slide, please. And this is another innovation where 20 years, if you count the boxes of shaping the future, there will be 20 boxes. So 20 years of shaping the future. And we're talking here about opportunities, flexibility in the university, the happiness, it's a happy environment, the achievement, the partnership we have with industry and academia, the innovation, the nurturing of faculty, staff, and students, the growth at the university. We have about almost nearly 8,000 students now. Is one of the biggest private universities in the UAE. And the teamwork and spirit we have created, feeling at home, you don't feel like a stranger, empowerment of staff, faculty and students and alumni and partners, the uniqueness in terms of the environment we have created, the timeliness of everything we do. We're a united university and we feel responsible and we are obsessed by excellence. We want to excel. So this is just was a design, which is leadership in design to a large extent, how you can take all your achievements, which will take me ages to count what we have achieved in the last few years in terms of research publications, in terms of teaching and learning, in terms of engagement with community, in terms of MOUs we have signed with organizations. But to be able to put it on one slide, it's really an art and science, and the 20 other boxes to show the value and the spirit of the university is really nice. But when it comes to the art and science of leadership, so when you look at art, it's to a large extent related to passion, creativity in leadership, the charisma, personality, where you come across somebody and then you say, I like this charismatic leader because they have charisma, they have personality, the storytelling, being able to tell stories, which people love stories, and the presentation of the work, very, very important. Of course, in terms of the science, you have to rely on evidence. I couldn't say to you that I'm ranked 151 to 125 for business and economics, and I don't have the evidence from the Times Higher Education. So it's really, really important to provide the evidence. Everything is based around KPI, key performance indicators. Quality is at the heart of things you do as part of science, the rigor, and the leadership style. So I'm a great believer when you have a vision, you have leadership, you have passion, you have innovation, and quality is at the heart of everything you do, then you will be successful. There's no question about it. Those 5 ingredients are the ingredients for success. And this is what we promote at Abu Dhabi University in terms of leadership. If you look at the UAE and the late His Highness Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, the founder and first president of the UAE, if you look at the pictures, this is Abu Dhabi, the bottom one, in the 1970s, and this is the Corniche area. Look at the top now, where Abu Dhabi is in terms of the transformation of not just Abu Dhabi, the whole of the UAE. I gave Abu Dhabi as an example. And when you rely on the wisdom of His Highness Sheikh Zayed, may God bless his soul, send him to heaven. And what he said more than 25, 30 years ago, maybe, he said, we must not rely on oil alone as the main source of our national income. We have to diversify the sources of our revenue and construct economic projects that will ensure a free, stable, and dignified life for the people. This is school of leadership, which I am thinking it should be taught to see where the UAE is one of the most advanced nations in the world. The transformational activity, the innovation, the excellence, everything here is driven by excellence and competitiveness to a large extent. And to see the transformation, this is leadership. This is what we should be reading books about, His Highness, and see his leadership style, his approach to leadership, which has been transformational. Next one, please. So when it comes to leadership, you need just the 4 dimensions all the time. You need the science, of course, methodologies, KPIs, the art of presenting yourself, the information, the perceptions, how you make sure that people change their perceptions about them, because people have some misconceived ideas about you sometimes, and the way they can change quickly when they meet you, when they talk to you, when they see the quality of your work, when they see the quality of your organization, of your institution, and of course, connections. And connections is a very, very hard thing to keep. So when I connect with somebody, I tend to follow up, send them a WhatsApp, and say, so it's a pleasure meeting you, etc., and keep in touch with them. It takes time, but then with time, they will get connected with you. You can do business with them. You can enjoy the professional relationship. So the 4 dimensions that come to leadership is the science, art, perception, connections, go hand in hand. Now, when we see what's happening around us in terms of what could shape our future, and we know a lot of work has been happening in the area of global environmental change. Everybody's talking about the environment and climate change. We had COP28 in the UAE. It was a very successful conference. The future financial frameworks, how people will support their activities through financial models. The power shift from west to east, we see a lot of activities happening now in China and India, and the demographic change. You are dealing with the young generation in the Middle East, Africa, and some parts of the world, where you deal with the elderly in the West. So the type of research you will do depends on where you live, where you are. Knowledge generation and education, what's happening in the area of education from primary all the way to higher education, the economics and oil prices and how they're fluctuating, the technological progress, AI, data sciences, cloud computing, virtual reality, augmented reality, and so on. It's now driving our future. When you look at AI and ChatGPT in particular, we have Dr. Hamad here, who's a world-leading figure in this area, and see what's happening in this area. It's scary to a large extent, but we should benefit from it. I think it could help us. Law and order, political stability, we have seen wars across the globe now, fortunately, and I hope that we'll live in a peaceful world. I asked, out of curiosity, I asked ChatGPT, I was with Dr. Hamad in Dakar, in fact, it was a verbal conversation, and asked him about AI and leadership, and said whether AI will replace university presidents in time. I got the following reply. Replacing university presidents with AI is unlikely in the near future. So it could happen in the future, but not in the near future. University presidents' role involve complex decision-making, emotional intelligence, ethical consideration, and personal interactions that are currently beyond AI's capabilities. AI could assist in data-driven aspects of the work, like analyzing trends or optimizing operations, but the leadership, vision setting, community engagement aspect of university president role are inherently human and rely on qualities unique to human intelligence and judgment. So it was a fantastic answer, right? But I thought, should I retire now or keep myself going for a few more years? So I can still stay maybe as a university chancellor for a few more years. But it is unbelievable what AI and ChatGPT can do for you now, and you should use it in a very positive way. Now, for leaders who assume that in the past, when we were young, people used to ask us, what's your IQ? So if you have a high IQ, then you are extremely intelligent and you are going to succeed in life. It's no longer the case. You need a score of IQ above a certain level in order to be able to perform a task. But now the types of intelligence are related to emotional intelligence, connections intelligence, spiritual intelligence, leadership intelligence, creativity, health, environmental, technical skills, ethics, and experience intelligence, adversity intelligence, how you deal with adversity, digital intelligence, the use of technology, curiosity, vision, and so on. So things have changed immensely, and for a leader to have all these types of intelligence is difficult, but at least to have of course, the basic IQ first, and then to have the emotional intelligence, the cultural intelligence, the digital intelligence, I think is so important these days. Next one, please, Dr. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Unfortunately, sometimes what we do, we think, we deflect, we regret, we blame, we learn not, we plan not. There's no way you can succeed in leading an organization if you adopt this approach. The right approach is just to think, plan, do, reflect, evaluate, learn, and plan better. A very important model, a mindset, which is very important. Next one, please. We can see where we are now. If you look at the first car in 1886 by Carl Benz, this is how it looked like. First motorbike, first TV, and see where we are now. Next slide, please. See our first fridge, our first stove, our first phone, maybe our first washing machine, our first computer, mainframe. Look at this big room now. The iPhone can do all the operations more what the mainframe could do in the past. So there's been a lot of development in these areas. Okay. Now, if you look at these two pictures, I want you to guess what's this product. I have a picture for it in 2012, I think. What is it? In the question and answer, you can reply there if you want it, if you want to have a guess and see what is it. Do we have any answer?
Not yet, or in the chat. I think there are answers, but Q&A, so coffee. Someone said coffee. Someone's
Coffee machine, yeah.
battery, and someone said water boiler.
Yes.
A pressure cooker.
Yes. Next one, Dr. Hamad. There will be a prize to the person who guessed it. 2012, it hasn't changed that much since 2012, so it's a pressure cooker. And you can see how things have moved. Next slide, please.
Yeah.
Look how things have changed, but certain things have kept the brand, like a Coca-Cola. For almost more than 100 years, you can still recognize the product. This is the power of branding. Next slide. Leadership and creativity, because I come from construction background. So you can see all these buildings. Sometimes you may feel that they are crazy buildings, but they are very innovative and really powerful buildings and beautiful buildings. So this is the leadership in design and construction, in fact. Next slide. This company is Kodak. Unfortunately, as you know, Kodak has gone bankrupt because they did not predict the digital revolution. And if you don't envision your organization, if you don't see the future, you cannot guess it, you cannot predict it, but you can get prepared for it. If Kodak have noticed that there's the digital revolution coming, they may have changed their attitude and kept their business. So when it comes to leadership, you don't lead by pointing and telling people some place to go. You lead by example. You lead by going to that place and making a case to tell people that this is a very exciting place, we should go there. Next one. There are all sorts of quotes about leadership. I don't know what leadership is. You cannot touch it. You cannot feel it. It is not tangible, but I do know this. You recognize it when you see it. You see some people, in 5 minutes, you realize they are really great leaders. A good leader can't get too far ahead of his followers. The key to successful leadership is influence, not authority. And leadership is like swimming, cannot be learned by reading about it. It needs to be practiced. Next slide. So this book from 1990, there are about 400 definitions of leadership. I bet they would have doubled by now. And leadership is a matter of making the difference, and it's a relationship through which one person influences the behavior or actions of other people. This is leadership. Next slide. So when you look at some theories of leadership, next slide, please. So there are all types of theories. The first one is the great man theories, which assume that leaders are born and you cannot learn leadership. You're either born as a leader or you cannot just develop any qualities or train to be a leader. The second one is the trait theory. When you see some signs of leadership, especially in children, you can see some children have leadership quality, whether they may use it as a gang, in fact, but you can see they have some aspects of leadership from a young age. That the behavioral theory is all about behavioral issue, situational leadership, it depends on the situation, contingency, how you deal in difficult time and contingency. The transactional theory, which is all about transactions. The transformational, which is the aspirational type of leadership, the transformational in terms of organizational performance, and the inspirational leadership, which is by far, you can feel the charisma, you can feel the quality of a leader when he or she are in the room. And the leadership styles are ranges from autocratic to democratic and laissez-faire. Autocratic, one who commands, expect everyone to comply, dogmatic, positive, clear-cut, decisive, and so on. The democratic manages by consultation, encourages participation, develop a team approach, and see the good in people, him or her. And laissez-faire is working, let's not touch it. We don't know what sort of leadership style, but it's working. It does happen, laissez-faire. Okay. Now, when you see how leaders look at the world, some of them are concerned for results, and some are concerned for people, and some are concerned for results and people. So if you are in the 9.9 box in the team management, you are concerned for results and you are concerned for people, which is important. But if you are concerned for results and you don't care about people, then you are in 9.1. Then it's authority compliance management, disastrous in any organization. And if your concern for results is 1 and your concern for people is 1, is impoverished management. This is the absolute disaster. There's no question about it. And if your concern for people is very high, but concern for results is low, then you are in the country club management as well. It doesn't work that well. And if you are in halfway 5-5, then you are in the middle of the road management style or leadership approach. So the best place is to be concerned for results and people. But if you are concerned about only results, not people, it's disastrous. Next slide, please. This is a slide about congested or crowded leadership soup, which does exist in some organizations. So you don't know who's responsible for what and where the lines of authority, and there's so many complications. So this will create chaos in any organizations. And we have seen it in some organizations where you don't know who's the decision maker, you know who's reporting to who, and it doesn't work at all. This is a recipe for failure in any university or organization. This is the Belbin model. So, the best thing in a university or any organization is to have a team who have different skills. So, you need the coordinator, you need the team worker, you need the shaper. They should complement each other. You cannot have an organization full of resource investigators, people who can bring resources, time, money, connections, etc. but there's nobody to do the work. You need the shaper, you need the finisher, you need the coordinator, and so on. So it's important to have a combination of skills in order to lead a brilliant team. Next one, please. And when it comes to academia, of course, as academicians, researchers, etc., we have to deal with the three aspects of the job: the teaching and learning, the research, the innovation, and on top of that, we have the internationalization. And this makes life a little bit hard for us. So we need to plan our time, we need to plan our activity. And those are the things we do in a university usually on a daily basis, all of us. So we have to deal with the quality of teaching, the teaching method, the assessment, and so on. When it comes to research, we have to do the publication, citation, PhD supervision, and then in the innovation that you have to look at knowledge transfer, consultancy, and so on. So it's really important to keep this in mind if you are in academia. If you are in the commercial world, I'm sure you will have your own priorities as well. And next one. And then, of course, for every area, you need to go and define key performance indicators. I produced these for research at some stage in my life. And you can see how many key performance indicators you can have. You can have some hard measures, but you can have some soft measures. You can have imagination, you can have intelligence as key performance indicator, but you can have hard measures like research income, the number of PhDs you supervise, and so on. Next one, please. So how to become a leader? You need to have a vision. You need to set clear targets for yourself. You lead by example. You get your name well known. You be decisive. And you empower your team. You have presence. Get politically connected on the influential committee. Reward hard work. Remain humble. Very important. Inspire others. Communicate well. Be seen as the expert. Understand the value system. Have a passion. Have a mentor. Work hard and smart, act like a leader, and be firm in principles. All these hints are useful for you, for all of us. And when we were coached, our mentors told us that's what you should have in order to succeed as a leader. So a good leader should have some core values like clear vision, strong believer in quality, personality, transparency, fairness, respect for people, innovation and creativity, strong principles, promoter of excellence, loyalty, and faith in his her, or his own people, irrespective of their color, gender, race, religion, social status, nationality. And perhaps to have some sense of humor, because life is hard as it is. So it would be nice every now and then to tell a joke, maybe. But these are the core values a good leader should have, I think. And you have to strike the right balance between kindness and professionalism, soft on the people, firm on the issues, saying thank you, saying I'm not satisfied. So you cannot be kind all the time. You cannot be soft on the people all the time. And you cannot keep saying thank you when the thank you is not in the right place. I'm a great believer in saying thank you, but to the right people, the people who work really hard. And then you should be professional. If somebody is not performing well, you should cover at least their performance, be firm on the issues with them, and tell them you are not satisfied. If you need some help, you can develop them, you can support them. So you would expect in immature organizations, the autocratic style of leadership. In mature organizations, you will become more democratic because people can understand the key performance indicators and they behave in a very professional way. And the difference between leaders and managers and failing to plan and planning to fail, we mentioned it before. So do the right thing or do things right, interested in effectiveness or efficiency, innovate, administer, and so on. I'm going to leave you the presentation. You can compare them. I'm going to make reference to that slide at the very end as well, that we need both. We need leaders, we need managers, but we need to do the right thing as well, not just do things right. And leaders in general seek forgiveness and managers seek permission. If you seek permission all the time, you have to be compliant with the rules. But if you do a mistake, you ask for forgiveness because your heart is in the organization. You want to help your university or your organization. And you may do a mistake, so you ask for forgiveness, not just for permission all the time. Now, places which are full of diminishers, we call them the empire building, the tyrant, They know it all, the decision maker, the micromanager, they want to micromanage coffee and tea in the organizations. Those people, if you have plenty of them in the organization, they will destroy you for sure. You need the talent magnet. You need people who can identify talent, support them, liberate them to perform well, challenge them to do better, have a debate with them, and invest in them. Not just money. You can invest time, you can invest your expertise, you can invest in the right environment, and so on. So when you have multipliers in the organization, you'll be succeeding. This is a slide about the different types of people you may have in the organization as well. So you have the producer, you have the administrator, you have the entrepreneur, and you have the integrator. And everyone has a certain set of qualities. So the producer work very long hours, serious, restless, little emotion, while the administrator neat, organized, okay, etc. The entrepreneur, regular hour, may at times not show up at all, playful, tell jokes, tell stories, and so on. And the integrated, reliable, trustworthy, try to solve problems, and so on. How the visual appearance is conservative, conform to standards, trendy or warm. They like you if you get things done, follow the rules, and so on. They are dangerous when the producer is dangerous when you are not working hard enough. The administrator is dangerous when you want to change things. The entrepreneur is dangerous when you lack initiative or do things, and so on. So this slide is really nice to look at it in your spare time and see how those people think of each other, in fact. Next one, please. So we want to be leaders. I don't want to be the boss and from my office telling people what to do. I tend to walk to offices of my colleagues with Dr. Hamad and Khulud sometimes and go to their offices, say hello to them. They love it. It takes me only 1 hour, but you can motivate them. So I'm not telling them I'm the boss. I'm a leader. I'm leading an organization. I'm not the boss here. Very important. Now, the cultures of leadership where you have two extremes. You have a culture which is based on evidence or a culture that's based on opinion, rumors. A culture which is based on professionalism or appearance and etiquette. Transparency versus no influence or wasp. Rewards and punishment versus nuclear. High work ethics for competition versus jealousy. Achievement versus behavior, and so on. Next one, please. Long-term gains, short-term gains, value versus cost, innocent until proven guilty versus guilty until proven innocent, and so on. So you can see two extremes of cultures when you are leading an organization, and you have to understand where you are in order to understand how to lead. One culture celebrates success, one culture feels sorry for failure. So I wait for Dr. Hamel to fail and then go to him and then say, I'm really sorry, Dr. Hamel. But I could see him, he's going to fail, but I don't tell him. So one culture celebrates success, one culture feels sorry for failure. One culture is institutional, one culture is tribal. One culture is based on innovation, one culture is based on status quo, and so on. So you have to look at all these two extreme dimensions and then decide where you are in the organization. Do you rely on wisdom? Do you rely on knowledge? Or do you rely on emotions? People come to you emotional, but they don't provide you with the facts, and you believe them, etc., and so on. And dimensions of national culture, this is the work by Hofstede, where you have to look at the power distance. In general, in the West, the power distance is low. In the East, is very high. Individuals versus collectivism, see how people think about risk taking, masculinity versus femininity, long-term orientation, and indulgence versus restraint, how people take risks and not take risks. So you can use it as an application to see that nation in terms of power distance measures and so. Next one. So if you believe in change, this is Qatar, a change model. And you start by establishing the sense of urgency to make the change, then you create the coalition, then you develop a vision, then you share the vision, then you empower people to clear the obstacles, then you secure short-term gains and wins and consolidate and keep moving and then anchor whatever you have achieved. And this is what happened during COVID. Remember, because of COVID, we couldn't teach our students in our campuses. We have to go online. So the sense of urgency was to go online. Otherwise, you will not be teaching anybody. We create a coalition between universities, regulatory bodies, industry, government. We develop a clear vision, the strategy for e-learning. We empower people to do, and we show the short term how we can help students graduate from the university and don't. This is one type of change management model which is needed in order to lead an organization. Next one, please. And this is a model of the difference between the radical humanism and functionalism. So you need some people who are functional in an organization, but if that box where they believe in regulations and they are very objective, then if an organization is full of functionalists, then it's disastrous. You need a combination of those people, like Belbin to a large extent. You need the radical humanists, you need the radical structuralists, you need the interpreters, and you need the functionalists in the organization in order to succeed and lead properly. Next one. So in terms of the art and science of leadership, the storytelling is so important, the leading by example, the passion for leading an organization, the innovation, the knowledge creation, the charisma and personality, and the integrity in running an organization is so important. These are the pillars of good leadership. And some of them are related to art, some of them are related to science. So some more quotes from the function of leadership is to produce more leaders, not more followers. And he who has never learned to obey cannot be a good commander. Absolutely true. A true leader always keep an element of surprise up his sleeves. Absolutely. Tony Blair, the art of leadership is saying no, not saying yes. It's very easy to say yes. Sometimes you have to say yes, sometimes you have to say no, depending on the situation. Next one, please. You can do what I cannot do. I can do what you can't do. Together we can do great things. Mother Teresa, absolutely a great quote on leadership. My friends, when I was in Kuwait, a very close friend, was vice president as well, he told me the ingredients of failure: hypocrisy, jealousy, and mistrust. When you are a hypocrite, when you are jealous of everybody who's successful and you mistrust everybody, you will not succeed. Those are the ingredients for failure, my friends. Next one. So, these are just some reflections. I posted them on LinkedIn at some stage. It's the two extremes of leadership and management. Maybe have their eyes on the horizon versus have their eyes on the bottom line. Develop vision and strategy, develop detailed steps and timetable, originate versus imitate, do the things right versus do things right, and so on. Seek forgiveness versus seek permission, imagine the landing place, draw a map. All of these two extremes, but sometimes you need them, at least for the second part, the second bullet point, in order for the business to operate. So you need to innovate, but you need somebody to administer the innovation. You need to develop people, but you need to maintain them as well and retain them and so on. You need to focus on people in the first one, but you need to focus on systems and structure in order to achieve certain things. You seek change, but at the same time, the change has to be predictable as well. So these two elements are really important to run an organization properly. Some of them are related to leadership, some of them are related to management. Sometimes comes to management, there could be things which doesn't add any value, we shouldn't do them, but when they add value, then we should. And some tips before we conclude is just to lead by example, remain humble. We mentioned it before. Do not abuse your power. Do not compromise your values. Be kind on people, but tough on principles and performance. Make sure that you feel appreciated at work. Saying thank you is not a sign of weakness at all. Work smart. Take calculated risks or lose opportunities. If you don't take risks, you stay where you are. Think out of the box. Don't make long speeches. Don't write long emails. Publish your achievement on social media and LinkedIn and so on. Embrace an approach of 4 components: science, art, connection, and perceptions. Make sure that quality is at the heart of everything you do. Work with passion. Surround yourself with positive people. Believe me, surrounding yourself with negative people will take all the energy from you. They will drag you down. They will make you fail. And do not go to your boss with problems, but with solutions. My advice to you, if you want to lead properly. Next slide, please. So this is a statement from Najib Mahfouz, who's the Nobel Prize winner. Don't tell me about those who hate me or talk about me. Let me love everyone and think that everyone loves me. Life and relationship are organized by tolerance and harmonious by consent. It ends with scrutiny and ends with investigation. Absolutely true. If you read it in Arabic or in English, it makes sense. And this is the culture of gossiping, talking behind people's back. And when somebody comes to me and talk about somebody else, I say he or she will be talking about me. So I become really scared. Next one. Believing in ourselves from Gibran Khalil Gibran, the Prophet, 1934. Believing in ourselves, pity the nation that's full of beliefs and empty of religion, pity the nation who exploits, etc., eats bread, it doesn't harvest, and wine. It's very, very important to believe in yourself, have the confidence that whatever you are going to do in your organization is worth leading. And you shouldn't be worried that you should be comparing yourself with others. You should have the confidence to say, I believe in the things I eat the bread from what I harvest. Okay. Next slide. Working with joy, and what is it to work with love? If you don't love what you are doing, don't do it. When I put the first slide, I put my under my title, Chancellor of Abu Dhabi University, I put past president of the Chartered Institute of Building. And when I was president in 2014, for a year, I was vice president for 3-4 years before. The amount of work I did for the Institute out of my good heart, wasn't getting paid, it's charity work, but working for an institute which was established in 1834, having maybe around 50,000 members from across the globe, I was the global president in 2014, the 111th president, 111 president. The amount of work I did for that interview, the joy, with joy. I used to travel from Bahrain and Kuwait. In fact, I was in Bahrain at that time. I go to the UK, attend the Board of Trustees meeting. I go on Thursday evening, have the Board of Trustees meeting on the Friday. I go and visit the Northwest, Northeast, or London, or whatever. Attend the function, come back to Bahrain on Saturday. Within 48 hours, I've done the trip. I've done it so many times to Australia, Hong Kong, Malaysia, etc. But I did it with joy because I was loving this type of activity, because I was so proud of my institute to have been established nearly 200 years ago, to be the first president from the Middle East, or from the Arab world, or from the Muslim world. And it was challenging for sure, but it was so rewarding. So you have to work with joy, I think, is so important. Next slide, please. I said a good leader have stories to tell. I will tell you the story of the boss and the toaster. There was a boss who wanted a toaster. He wanted to toast some bread in the morning. So he asked a doer and a talker to do it for him. The doer went home, designed the toaster, manufactured it, tested it, put some bread inside it. It was working. He went to the boss in the morning, said, "Boss, I produced the toaster. Try it." The boss wanted toasted bread. He didn't want anything else. He was so happy. The boss was over the moon. The talker disappeared and came back after 20 years. And he spread his design on the floor, big room full of maps and drawings, and told the boss, "Look, boss, I've designed this toaster for you. You can use it as a toaster, you can use it as a hair dryer, you can use it as a coffee machine." And the boss decided to imprison the talker, and they all lived happily ever after. When you are asked to do something, of course, you could be innovative, but if you go out of the brief and try to be innovative with it without any context, you are wasting your time and the time of the organization. So this is a very big lesson in terms of the boss and the toaster, and how you can use whatever you have been asked to do in a very professional way. It could be innovative, but don't go off tangent too much, I think. Next slide, Dr. So treat people as if they were what they ought to be, and you help them become what they are capable of being. You have to understand that. Next slide. And happiness is a state of mind. Look at the number 3. Number 1 is confused now, because the number 3 is so happy, and number 1 thinks that he's the number 1, but he was number 3. So you have to be confident, happy, etc. It shows your achievement. I am obsessed with this slide. It's so powerful. in terms of presenting yourself, presenting your satisfaction in achieving something. Next slide. So to conclude, leaders could be born or made, and I strongly believe that, mainly made, in fact. And you need to understand the leadership style within the organization, the different cultures, and you need to believe in change. If you don't change, you will never achieve what you're aiming for. And last one, just to say thank you, and I will leave you with Helen Keller. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Ghassan. I can see so many questions in the Q&A. Also, there are hands up. Let's start by the hands up. Those people who raised their hand. First one is Nasser. I'll give you the microphone. You can talk. Please be brief and get your question focused so we can answer it quickly. Okay, Nasser seems having an issue. I will allow Therese to talk. Yeah.
Therese is my friend.
You need to unmute your microphone to be able to talk.
Yes, sorry, it was initially I was just saying to you that the chat was muted, but I'm sure there were a lot of us on here, Ghassan, that wanted to just thank you for inviting us, and it's great to be able to tune in from a distance and hear your words of wisdom, and congratulations. Really, we've all enjoyed it, and as usual, you're delivering with your sense of humor.
Thank you. I think by mistake, I disabled her mic. Sorry for that. I have also Nasser and Yasemin. Yasemin, please unmute your microphone.
Hello, good evening from Pakistan. This is Dr. Yasmeen Ahmed. I'm chair at Architecture Department, Lahore College for Women University. I'm so pleased to listen to the wonderful words Honorable Professor Ghassan just shared. I mean, it was a real eye-opener for me. And I'm so happy to learn that he has covered so much of aspects that it's covering almost all the parts of the world. And I really had a great time listening to you. Thank you so much and congratulations. Looking forward further.
Thank you so much, Professor Yasmeen. Thank you.
Yeah. We have Wael.
Yes, hello.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, first of all, I would like to thank you very much for the nice words and the information that I've gained that were really very important in my career. I am a lecturer at the University of Aden, talking from Yemen. So just to have one question, please. It's about storytelling. If you could just try to help us to understand how that's related to leadership. And the second thing, just a kind request, if you can have the PPT of your presentation. Thank you very much. Thank you once again.
Yeah, Dr. Ghassan, do you want to answer his question? I think.
So the question was, I understand that you wanted the PPT, but the question was related to
Storytelling and how storytelling can be used in leadership.
Storytelling, absolutely. It's because remember, leadership is all about the experiences, and it's like design. When you have a design experience, you will remember it all your life. And leadership, when it comes to stories, something happened to you. I mentioned my experience with the CIOB and why I love working with the CIOB, because it has left so many good memories of the Institute. And when I mentioned the story of the boss and the toaster, I want to send very, very strong messages about being pragmatic, being productive, being focused instead of just being a lot creative, a lot of innovative, and then you go out of context. You don't deliver the product you have been asked for, in fact. So usually the storytelling is a very powerful mechanism to remind people of certain situation or experience, and people love it. And the PowerPoint presentation, by all means, will send them to you.
Yeah, we'll upload it to the system. We'll give you the link to do that. Sule Kano, you can unmute your microphone if you don't mind to speak.
Oh, I am Dr. Sule, Abu Dhabi University. Thank you very much for the wonderful talk. It's always refreshing. I just have a question about the empire building. You mentioned something about empire building.
Yes.
And I wanted to have a better understanding of it. Thank you.
Yes, I will tell you one thing. This is part of the diminishers. The diminishers, it has certain element, the empire building. If I come to the university as a chancellor, so I build my own empire by relying on the people which come from my discipline, which is civil or construction management, and I start building my empire to just control it, and it doesn't work. Some organization, you see people building empires, and I want to build talents. I want to build leaders. I want to spread the expertise within the organization as a whole. I want to treat everybody exactly the same way. I don't want to have my own gang and build an empire here and then say, oh, I left this empire which will collapse after I leave. This is what I meant, Dr. Sule.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Sandy Jones.
Oh, my
Please.
president.
Thank you very much. Hello, past president, esteemed past president. It was a delight to have such a rapid gallop through a fast, furious and fact-filled presentation on the mystery of leadership. Yes, I'm the 120th president of the Chartered Institute of Building, the third woman. What was particular music to my ears was your emphasis on marketing at a very early stage in that presentation, which I think is so important, and also the need for a sense of humor, but particularly this challenging concept of the balance between art and science. And it came to mind some years ago when I was very involved with a very well-known professional institution of professional engineers. And I'd spent the entire day in a room full of men from various engineering disciplines, cultures, backgrounds, and we were putting together a presentation on sustainability for Rio or Paris or, one of the major events. And that was one of the things I knew I could do. So we came to a sense of ownership over this document. We all agreed as an international community, that was the message, the story, if you will, that we were content to put forward to the summit. As I left to get ready for the banquet that evening, I heard one man turn to another and say, it's such a pity she's not a real engineer, because she'd make a much better job of presenting it than any of us. Things have changed a little, but what is your view on, do you feel that this challenge of creating and identifying leaders in the construction industry is partly down to the tendency to work in silos? Engineers in one, architects in another, surveyors in another, planners in another, which may be an inhibition on that blending of art and science. Do you still see this? What is your view? And how do you think we might change it?
Thank you, my president. And I didn't know that you're in the audience, so I'm absolutely delighted. And I was telling everybody about my experience with the CIOB as past president because this was an amazing experience. So congratulations once again. You're absolutely right, Sandy. This is the problem, is the fragmentation, which happened not just in the construction industry, in organizations. And you see in a university, when you have different cultures operating in different directions, the result is complete failure. And at ADU, we have 5 colleges, different disciplines. We brought them together as one team. We said, if we work together, we'll achieve well. If we are fragmented, fighting each other, we will collapse. And you can see the benefits where we are in terms of the ranking, in terms of the performance. The same as the construction industry. When you have different disciplines fighting each other instead of being integrated and identifying the right skills, complementing each other, what we mentioned about Belbin, you will do much better. That's why in our industry, we don't finish on time. There's quality issues sometimes, overcost and so on. I think integration is the key. And you need this art of bringing people together by encouraging them, by trying to avoid conflict between them. It's nice to have competition between colleges here. I tend to say, yalla, engineering business have done this or that in order to motivate them, but not to create friction between them. So I think integration is the key for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we have so many hands up, Professor Hassan. You would like to continue? We already over time by 2 minutes.
It's okay, Dr. Ahmed. I mean, our friends have made effort to come, so we should make some effort to stay.
I agree with that. Kavita, can you please unmute your microphone and speak?
Good evening, Dr. Professor Ghassan. I'm Dr. Kavita Nair from India. I'm presently heading the Department of English and Foreign Languages. It was such a delight listening to you. I don't know, from the very first slide, I was glued to it, looking at the innovation that you have on your slides. And there is so much you've said in such few slides. I know I'm really, really very much interested in actually talking to you face to face and, getting an interview, actually. That's the effect. And my only question was, sir, being a leader, you've been in leadership positions. Does it, have you observed that the leadership positions where women are the leaders, they generally have to prove twice as, to become a leader, to prove themselves as a leader, they have to do double the job to prove
Yes.
on the, canvas. So have you seen or observed, and what can be a solution to that? Be it participative leader or situational leader, inspiring leaders, it is always testing continuously. So I would
Yes.
like to move on this aspect of leadership.
Yes, of course. I mean, it's women empowerment and women leadership and the way it has been transformational. I mean, when I was in the UK, I was Pro-Vice Chancellor for Research and Innovation at the University of Salford. At that time, I can't remember whether there were many women, hardly any women Vice Chancellors in the UK, in a British university, imagine. And now we have so many, and we have seen the achievements of these universities. So, I mean, leadership is, that's what I said. The moment you look at it from a gender point of view or a color point of view or religion point of view, it's disastrous because a leader is a leader. My president is a woman leader. I love that we had 3 presidents in the CIOB. When I became president, I think I was the first person of ethnic minority who have become president of the CIOB. There was, I think, a woman before me, from a lady from China who was president of the CIOB. Imagine at that time. Now we have 3 women. We had 1 more president, my friends, Charles Ekbo, and so on. So I think it's the mindset where people have to accept that whoever is competent of doing a job, we should not be looking at any other aspects, their race, their gender, their religion, their color. That's why in the UAE, we're very, very lucky because it's a land of tolerance and coexistence and peace, and people are given the opportunities. Women in the UAE are doing extremely well in ministerial positions and top management roles and so on. So I don't see any difference whatsoever. No, I think it's our duty to empower and support women and encourage them to take leadership positions. And this is a universal problem, not here. When at some stage I was looking at some figures in the United States, and ratio of women who make it to the top tables, board room type of positions, there were just very few at some stage, percentage-wise. It has gone up, so there is improvement. We're moving in the right direction. Yeah.
Professor Muhammad Raza.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very
Alaikum.
much. I'm Professor Dr. Muhammad Asif Raza, Dean Faculty of Veterinary and Animal Sciences, University of Agriculture, Multan. So, Professor Ghassan, thank you very much. What a wonderful presentation, and really thought-provoking things, and in the preview of leadership. So, I just one thing you have mentioned that the leader and something difference between boss. In your slide, you shows that slide. So, what do you think? Sometime, the leader have turned into boss, or sometime any experience that when you are managing some team or when you are working as in leadership position, sometimes you have to behave like a boss. Is that like, do you have any experience, or is it something? Thank you.
Okay, I told you before, in immature organizations, you have to be autocratic and you act like a boss. In a mature organization, then you can afford to be democratic and to be the leader. So you take your colleagues with you on a nice journey, you engage them, you support them, you lead them by example, you try to imagine the landing place, how beautiful it is. I cannot do it if I'm sitting in my office, giving instructions, signing documents. I have to go and walk around and see people on the ground, what they want. The moment I go to their offices with Dr. Hamad and Khulud, and they see us, they are extremely happy that we have made efforts to go and walk and see them, listen to them, etc. It's much better than financial rewards. In fact, they want people to listen to them, to say thank you to them, to promote them. That's what I do. I go on LinkedIn, I promote my colleagues' achievements and activity, because whatever they do, I feel so proud, and I feel so proud I'm leading the institution, but it's their hard work and I have to recognize it. So being a boss in some instances you have to be, otherwise it will be chaos. Of course, you take decisions, etc. But at the same time, you need to treat people with respect, support, empathy, and so on. You succeed. Okay, thank you. Okay, Dr. Hamad, do we have more? You are muted. You are muted, Dr. Hamad.
We have around 12 more. Debasis, please, can you talk?
Yes, actually, I'm from India, and I am connected with Professor Ghassan over LinkedIn. I keep a close eye on all the posts he put up in the LinkedIn, and that time onwards, actually, I could guess that he has the knowledge of real leadership and management. Usually, I put up my comment there also. Now, particularly coming to today's session, first, Dr. Hamid, I thank you very much for conducting such session, and definitely thanks goes to Professor Ghassan. Wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
It is very wisdomful. I do not have a question immediately because I like to go through thorough. I was actually a vice president in Tata Consultancy Services in India, as a global head of collaboration with the research institutes and all. And subsequently, I opened a small consultancy firm in UAE at Sharjah. I have visited Abu Dhabi University and spent some time with Professor Mondasi there, and looking forward working together with Abu Dhabi University and all. Excellent, no doubt about that. The best thing what I found, his Professor Ghassan's analysis, 2x2 matrix analysis in quite a few slides, and very especially in the managerial and leadership grid that he has said is mathematically actually, it gives the scales, where is my improvement required and all. It's a wonderful slide. It's a very unique and innovative. It gives me a feeling, it has come from his wide experience for pretty long time. Otherwise, actually, such type of content cannot be developed to present. It is not a bookish one. He has actually, quoted quite a few good management quotes. Those are all authentic. But, his own experience has come out from this thing. So I'm very much thankful. I will again go over to this presentation and try to find out really that, what else can be added to that, and hope to meet Professor Ghassan personally the next month onwards. If he has time, definitely I'll meet him and we'll have a few words with him also. Thank you very much again, once again.
Thank you for your kind words.
Aruna, can you unmute your microphone, please? Okay, we will move to
Dr. Hamad, can we, because we still have about 2-3 minutes.
Dr.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Aruna Hashmi from University of the Punjab, Pakistan. And honestly, I'm highly impressed that how well Dr. marketed his university as a transformative leader. Honestly, it's great in the 20 and University of Abu Dhabi. Of the slide you showed in your presentation, that the ingredients of failure, all over globe we are facing such types of problems. So I'm always very much disheartened and felt very bad when we are just not sharing of experiences. But honestly, the change is inevitable, and it's not the question, but rather it's the comment. Basically, the change is inevitable, and I think leadership models need to be able to capture the new path forward in this increasingly digital world. So I think, being the student of the curriculum, that many things you have just mentioned in your slides.
Thank you.
My love, that is curriculum, was missing. And being the leader, you should have to focus on developing the curriculum as well. Thank you so much. My best wishes to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Hamad, because of time now, we have, I don't know, two more minutes, otherwise.
Yeah. Okay. Only 2 more.
You can be brief.
Good evening, everybody.
Hi, Doctor.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much, Professor Ghassan, for this inspiring talk. I am Wafa Salah, Associate Professor of Medical Microbiology and Immunology from Egypt. I really enjoying the presentation. It was very interesting. I just want to know, you mentioned that in mature organization, the autocratic leadership style is usually adopted. The democratic style is usually adopted. I'm asking about...
In immature.
In immature, there is autocratic, while mature, there is democratic. I'm asking about the other leadership styles, like delegative or non-directive. Does this type of leadership or this style can have place in the mature organization? Other types of leadership?
Yeah, I mean, by default,
thank you very much.
When you have the mature organizations, and of course, the democratic approach will lead to the inspirational style of leadership, where things are just, you can see the charisma and personality of the leader, and you can feel it, you can touch it. And in immature organization where there are no rules, everything is chaotic. You need somebody to give instructions and rules. So then your leadership style will become really very transactional to Arash. It's all about transactions and it's about situational. So depending on the situation, I have to adopt the leadership style. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we conclude. I think there are few more people there, but I think we went over time by 15 minutes. The recording will be on LinkedIn. So please go to LinkedIn and continue this discussion. Post your questions, maybe give your feedback or share your experience and keep this discussion going on. I really appreciated that you made the time and you came. I think we had on Teams at some time, maybe 350, and on LinkedIn, I looked at 120, it goes up and down there. And now we'll have more sessions will be coming very soon. Thank you, Professor Ghassan. Do you want to say any last words?
Thank you, Dr. Hamad. Thank you to the audience, to all my friends, and I'm sure there are plenty of them there. And President Sandy in particular, I was surprised to see the passion I have for the CIOB, so I'm really glad that you're there. Thank you, Dr. Hamad. This program of investing in our community is very noble that you have developed, because whatever knowledge we have to share it with the community. I think it's good for all of us. I'm grateful to you and to Khulud and to everybody who supported me in this lecture. And I hope the audience have enjoyed it. And many thanks. I'm looking forward to more lectures in this series of investing in our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Ghassan. Thank you, everyone. Have a
Bye.
good night.
Good night.